Hi again everyone. Just before this video starts, I just want to say thank you all so much for the nice comments and all the likes you've been leaving. I've got an announcement at the end of the video of sorts. Actually, it's more of a thank you. But basically just everyone who's, sent the comments or helped me out or joined my Discord, everyone basically. So please stick around to the end. Anyway, enjoy. 6 makes his way through the intimidating metal door frame.
These forerunners must have been huge.
6 thinks to himself. As he walks through, 6 looks around a huge open cave that's surrounded by lava falling from openings within the cave walls. Platforms float in front of him, as if held together by a hidden higher power. The Forerunner's technology was far beyond anything even the Covenant could fabricate. And dead ahead, blossoming in the glowing red melting glow, was a huge phoenix-like monolith of unimaginable size. 6 diverts his attention back towards the platform in front of him. There seems to be a blue light projected in front of him like a phantom being casted from the metal floor. According to the intel that came back from Requiem, Oni agents, as well as some of the UNSC's personnel from the R&D Centre, recorded data of what sounded like teleporters, similar to the design of what is currently in front of 6. The Spartan takes a wary step and walks into the blue light. Immediately, he's transported across space to another platform, slightly closer to the intimidating monolith. It's as if he blinked and the world had changed before him. The feeling of moving through the teleporter was like being disassembled and put back together again in an instant. The feeling was nauseous, almost unsettling. The platform he was on had a janky path filled with other platforms in front of him, some moving and most with more teleporters. As he begins to move, that's when he notices another teleporter further away from him, to his left, around 50 meters upwards. It flashes as a green figure materializes into existence. It was the Master Chief, Spartan 117, Reaper 1's target. Before the Master Chief could finish scanning his gaze across all of the other platforms in front of him, 6 activates his active camouflage unit. Spartan 117 begins to make a steady pace towards the next teleporter. Behind the Master Chief appeared 3 other Spartans. It was of course the rest of Blue Team. 6 knew what he had to do. The Forerunner teleporters in front of him would most likely lead to the same place that Blue Team was heading for. Without hesitation, Spartan B312 sets off on a race to beat Blue Team through the platforms. The Master Chief speaks up.
Kelly, get to the rally point double time. Check the exit and clear the area.
Kelly replies, "On it." With that order, the Spartan 2 unleashes a sprint that could make a cheetah blush. 6 remains on his path, observing the lightning-fast Spartan 087 dash through the teleporters, creating a rhythmic flash of blue lights. 6 knew he couldn't beat Kelly when it came to a race. After all, Kelly was known for being the fastest Spartan within the Spartan 2 class, and definitely faster than himself. 6 does well to keep pace with the rest of Blue Team as they make their way through the platforms. As he moves, 6 knows that taking Blue Team head-on would not work. He was going to have to pick them off one by one. On the final platform, in front of the enormous steel being, is Kelly, making a quick sweep of the platform and waiting for Blue Team at the teleporter. 6 reaches the second to last platform and stops right outside of the teleporter. If he went through now, he would no doubt be spotted. A Spartan 2's eyesight is far superior to the normal human eye. Kelly would notice the camouflaged Spartan at close range fairly quickly. Blue Team also reaches the platform and regroups with Kelly. Fred.
You are sure about this, Chief? We have no idea what's on the other side.
The Master Chief turns to face Fred.
Yes, I trust her.
As Blue Team converses, 6 hops through his last teleporter, his active camo bending the blue light around him as he appears on the other side. He stays in front of the blue light, staying almost invisible. Linda interjects the conversation. "That's good enough for me. I'll take point," Linda says as she moves through the last teleporter that sits at the end of the large platform. Fred nods at Chief. Master Chief, in return, slightly nods his head back, and Fred makes his way through. Kelly puts a hand on the Master Chief's shoulder as she walks past him towards the teleporter. "With you until the end, John." Chief watches as she fades through the blue light out of existence. Spartan 117 takes a steady breath in anticipation to see Cortana, and takes a step towards the teleporter. The sound of metal clashing against metal is echoed through the cave, as the Master Chief is knocked to the ground from his right by an invisible force. The distortion of light lands on top of him, and quickly reaches out an appendage towards the Chief's chest plate. Before this phantom can reach, Chief pushes his legs towards his chest and then launches his feet out and kicks the figure off of him. The anomaly of light is flung off the Spartan and rolls backwards. Sticking a back appendage out, it slides to a halt, facing the Chief in a cat-like stance. The Master Chief stands ready for its next strike when the distortion turns to reality, suddenly appearing as if from coming through a gate from another reality. The active camo is deactivated as Noble 6 materialises in front of the Master Chief. Reaper 1 stands, not taking his eyes off of the Spartan 2, armour restraint in hand. Chief stares in confusion and then quickly notices the Oni symbol on the Spartan's armour. Chief speaks in disgust.
Oni.
Chief looks closer at the armour. Below the symbol, a tag, but not printed on. The numbers look to be etched into the armour's paint by hand. The tag simply says B312. Reaper 1 speaks up.
The Office of Naval Intelligence has given me direct orders from Admiral Osman to bring you and the rest of the Blue Team in, sir.
Chief replies,
You bringing me in would only influence Cortana to send these Guardians towards Earth, towards humanity.
Reaper 1 interjects.
That may be, sir, but my orders are still to bring you in.
Before Chief can reply, Reaper 1 pounces towards the Spartan. An armoured fist at outrageous velocity flies towards the Chief's visor, but not before the Spartan 2 reacts with superhuman reflexes, grabbing the below of an arm and slinging the Spartan's whole weight over him. The Spartan 3 gracefully follows the Master Chief's movement as he is pulled over him. Reaper 1 twists his body to land on one knee. The Master Chief lets go of his arm as he lands, and Reaper 1 with his other arm behind his back readies himself to stretch out and push the armour restraint upon the Spartan. Spartan B312 begins this movement when the Master Chief sends a kick hurling towards the kneeling agent. Reaper 1 rolls to his left and the kick glides over the Oni agent's helmet, missing him by millimetres. Before Spartan 117 finishes his attempted face kick, Reaper 1 sweeps his leg towards the only leg that the Master Chief is still standing on. The Master Chief buckles and Reaper 1 spins himself back onto his feet, now with the Spartan 2 kneeling in front of the Spartan 3. The Master Chief adapts quickly, recognising that the Spartan 3's augmentations made him a menacing force of multiple flurries and fast-acting attacks, never giving in and always trying to stay on the offensive. Before Reaper 1 can even stretch his arm out again, the Master Chief springs back up and knees the Oni Spook's visor. A crack of metal and glass can be heard, and Reaper 1 stumbles backwards. Spartan 117's counter completely knocked the Spartan 3's tactics off guard. Master Chief stands, waiting in anticipation once again. Reaper 1 regains himself and looks up through the now flickering hood of his cracked silver visor. 6 stares, shocked at the super soldier. He was shocked, but at the same time wasn't expecting to come out of this confrontation with humanity's best in one piece. Reaper 1 puts both hands on his helmet and lifts it off his head. A bust lip sits on his face, a scar to remember from his time against the best of the best. He brings his arms back down and the scarred helmet falls from his left hand with a thud to the ground. Reaper 1 wouldn't let distractions stop him. Chief darts towards Reaper 1 and the Spartan 3 waits until the absolute last second before making any kind of movement. A fist of unrelenting force swings towards his chest plate. Reaper 1 simply sidesteps the attack as the fist scrapes paint from his armour and sparks fly. As Chief begins to counter the dodge by spinning around with his left arm, coming around for a backhand hit, Reaper 1 moves in unison with the Spartan, bending away from the attack. It's like an art at super speeds. He ducks under the unstoppable arm and grabs the handle of the Kirkery knife strapped to his chest. Chief's backhanded fist strike fails. Six lunges back upwards and slices at the Spartan's arm. Reaper 1 is too slow to hit where he targeted, and instead of catching the Master Chief's underarm, Spartan 117 reacted to the situation. He scrapes past his chest plate, leaving a huge gash of around 3mm deep. A spray of orange and yellow flies from the Chief as sparks flash across the platform, and his Mjolnir armour system retaliates by flaring up its signature yellow glow covering the Spartan. Chief, stunned by the Spartan 3's actions, recoils. Reaper 1 once again makes a naive strike towards the veteran, trying to strike a limb. The Master Chief doesn't block this time, but simply retaliates, reaching his arm out towards the helmetless Spartan, and a thunk is heard as Reaper 1's chest plate is hit with something metallic. Before the knife can begin to touch the Master Chief's right arm, Six suddenly finds himself to be stuck. Completely frozen in time, his armour betrays him, and in a picturesque scene, a desperate Spartan, arm reached out, with a knife only an inch away from humanity's best warrior, he looks back towards the knife with a sense of shame. He looks down to see one of his armour restraints he brought sitting on his chest plate. The Master Chief relaxes and once again speaks with Reaper 1. Oni doesn't know what's best for humanity, and the UNSC are making a big mistake. Reaper 1 looks back to the Spartan. A flash of blue dances in the corner as 3 Spartans make their way through. Instantly they snap onto Reaper 1, aiming at the frozen agent.
That may be, but following Cortana isn't the answer either. I know you care about her, sir, but she's dangerous, and the Forerunner technology that she's reformed herself with has changed her entire being. She's no longer an AI. She's Forerunner.
Linda intersects quizzically. Oni? Fred replies.
Not sure if I should feel flattered or insulted. One ex-headhunter wouldn't be able to take all 4 of us.
Linda replies to Fred in a humorous manner. Maybe he's better than he looks. Kelly moves over in front of the ONI spook and speaks up. Following orders isn't always the right thing to do, Spartan. You should know that, especially being a Spartan 3 yourself. Noble 6 once again looks down with disappointment covering his face. He flashes back to the time on Reach with the rest of Noble Team. A sentence rings through his head.
Your primary objective, Commander, are you a puppet or a Spartan?
6 snaps back towards Blue Team. Linda takes the knife out of 6's hand. This sure ain't standard military issue. 6 replies.
It's an old friend of mine's.
Fred picks up the damaged helmet.
Made some customizations, I see.
Pointing towards the small 6 etched into the back of the helmet below the AI port. 6 once again speaks up.
I was on Reach when it fell.
He pauses for a second and sighs. 6 looks at Chief.
I was chosen by her too, just like you. She needed a courier of sorts, and Dr. Halsey was adamant that I follow her will. If it wasn't for me, you would have never found Halo.
6 tries to stare into the Master Chief's golden visor, attempting to picture some form of human eyes looking back at him.
That's why I'm really here. A sense of responsibility pulls me here to bring a stop to this.
6's head dips back down to the floor with a sense of failure. Kelly turns to Master Chief. Maybe some part of what he's saying is right. She's changed, John, and following her won't stop this. John replies.
But if I can't stop her, then what will?
Fred walks towards them.
Humanity, Chief. Humanity made her and got her this far. One Spartan can't keep saving the world.
Chief looks back at 6. Maybe Halsey can. She made her, so she finishes off Six's sentence.
Maybe she can stop her.
The two Spartans both look at each other in revelation. John talks to the frozen Spartan.
Thank you for bringing her to me.
Kelly walks over and takes off the armor restraint. Six's body relaxes and his arm falls back down to his side. If it wasn't for you and the rest of your team, none of us would be where we are now. Kelly smiles behind her visor as she reassures Six. Linda reaches her arm out and hands the war-torn Kirkery back to the ex-headhunter. Six grabs it and puts the weapon back into the sheath strapped along his chest plate. He smiles back at Kelly. Fred walks over.
So where's Halsey now? Last I heard, she was in Jewel Mdama's hands.
Fred passes the damaged Mark 7 helmet back to the Spartan. Six looks down into his helmet, raises it above his head, and then slides it on. Six replies.
I might know where to look.
Wow. I have no idea what to really say. There's no script for this. This is all just me talking now. Wow, the amount of comments and likes that are on this video, not this video, the previous one, part 1 to this video, is insane. The views, I'm looking at the views right now, and it says 43,686. Never in my life would I think that my video would make it to that many views. I am absolutely gobsmacked. The likes number is 2,725. What is wrong with you people to give me that many likes? That's just nuts. 854 comments. I have been trying so hard to reply to every single comment. Well, most, anyway. Some of them are people arguing, which is expected with the Halo community. A lot of people can be very toxic, but most of you are very nice people. And the comments you left me is so generous and so nice. I never, ever thought I'd see comments like that. That is... I am shocked by what everybody's said. Congrats to Installation 00 as well for reaching 100,000 subscribers. I was so happy for him. I ended up watching the live stream when he did his congratulation video, and he I left a message in the chat saying, one day I hope to reach this many subscribers as you. And he replied and said subbed, which obviously means he's subscribed to my channel, which just blew my mind. That big of a YouTuber subscribed to my tiny little channel with just 4 videos. I cannot believe how much this channel has blown up within like a week and a half. It's insane. The Discord, everybody is so nice. It's great. It's so nice. Honestly, everybody, just thank you. And when I mean everybody, not just like everybody is a collective. I mean like every single individual one of you. I wish I could shake your hand for giving me the likes, the views, the comments, joining my Discord. Thank you all so much. And also a special thanks to... I know his name on my Discord. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Decimazilla, I guess. Could be Decimazilla, but I'm going to go with Decimazilla. He is my administrator for my Discord, and he has done an amazing job. I'm looking at it right now, and my tiny little Discord with like 6 people has blown up to 78 so far, which is a massive change over like I said, just like a week and a half. It's huge. I've been trying to chat with you a lot, and every single one of you are just amazing. Your video ideas are creative and inspiring. I want to do more. I want to make the videos out of these ideas. I think they're great. I've even got... I asked my administrator, this is a Mozilla, yeah, that, for putting a page for voice acting applications, and he made it. And there is tons of you who want to be in the video, and I really hope to do that. I'm recording this on Friday. I will most likely be putting this out on Sunday, so tomorrow I'm going to try and get most of you in the video who's recorded yourselves, and I'll give you all a character and give you the lines, and then I'll edit it in, hopefully. Anyway, but it's just, wow, I never thought I'd be here. So thank you all, and I think that's it. Peace.